Single dad was fired for helping a pregnant woman get to the hospital. He had no idea she was a CEO. Have you ever made one simple decision that changed your entire life? Imagine being forced to choose between keeping your job and saving someone's life. Most people would freeze. But one single father made a choice that cost him everything, or so he thought. What happened next proved that kindness always finds its way back, even when the world seems unfair. Before we begin, welcome to Kindness Matrez, the place where inspiring stories remind us that compassion can change lives. If you enjoy heartwarming stories like this one, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you would have done in this situation. Now, let's begin. Every morning before sunrise, Daniel Carter packed lunch for his 8-year-old daughter, Emma. Their little apartment wasn't fancy, but it was filled with love. Since losing his wife to illness 3 years earlier, Daniel had worked tirelessly to give Emma a safe and happy life. He drove for a delivery company in Chicago, making sure packages reached customers on time. His manager constantly reminded the drivers that late deliveries would not be tolerated. Every minute mattered, and every mistake could cost someone their job. Daniel knew he couldn't afford to lose his position. Rent was due, school supplies weren't cheap, and Emma depended on him for everything. One rainy Tuesday, traffic came to a standstill. As Daniel waited at a red light, he noticed a young pregnant woman standing on the sidewalk. She looked pale, frightened, and was struggling to stay on her feet. People hurried past without stopping. Daniel watched as she tried calling someone, but no one answered. Suddenly she leaned against a streetlight, holding her stomach in pain. Without thinking twice, Daniel parked his delivery van safely and rushed over. "Are you okay?" he asked. I think my baby's coming," she whispered, fighting back tears. The ambulance said traffic is delaying them. Daniel looked at the clock inside his van. His delivery schedule was already behind. If he left his route, he could lose his job. If he stayed, this woman and her baby could be in serious danger. He didn't hesitate. "Come on," Daniel said gently. "I'll get you to the hospital." He carefully helped her into the passenger seat and drove through the heavy traffic as safely and quickly as possible. The woman introduced herself only as Olivia. She thanked Daniel over and over during the drive. "You don't even know me," she said. Daniel smiled. "My parents always taught me that kindness isn't something you earn. It's something you give." A few minutes later, they reached the hospital. Doctors rushed Olivia inside. Before disappearing through the emergency doors, she looked back with grateful eyes. "I'll never forget what you did today." Daniel smiled, wished her well, and quietly returned to his delivery route. Unfortunately, he arrived far too late. The next morning, his manager called him into the office. "You abandoned your assigned route," the manager said coldly. "I was helping a pregnant woman get to the hospital. That's not company policy." Daniel tried explaining everything, but the decision had already been made. "I'm sorry," the manager said without emotion. "You're fired." Daniel walked out carrying only a small cardboard box with his belongings. His heart sank. How would he pay rent? How would he take care of Emma? That evening, he smiled for his daughter even though his own heart was breaking. Everything would somehow be okay. At least, that's what he hoped. The next morning, Daniel's phone rang from an unfamiliar number. He almost ignored it. "Hello." A warm voice answered. "Mr. Carter. This is Olivia." Daniel smiled in surprise. She explained that she and her baby boy were both healthy. Then she asked if they could meet for coffee. Daniel agreed. When he arrived at the cafe, Olivia wasn't alone. Several professionally dressed people stood nearby. Daniel looked confused. Olivia smiled. "I never told you who I really am." She introduced herself as the founder and CEO of one of the fastest-growing healthcare technology companies in the country. The people standing beside her were members of her executive team. Daniel was speechless. "I wanted to see what kind of person would risk everything for a complete stranger," Olivia said. "You didn't know who I was. You didn't expect a reward. You simply cared." She paused before continuing. "That's exactly the kind of person I want leading people in my company." Daniel blinked. "I don't understand." Olivia smiled. "I'd like to offer you a job. Not just any job." She offered him a position as Director of Community Outreach, leading programs that helped hospitals support struggling families across America. The salary was more than double what Daniel had earned before. The benefits included healthcare, paid family leave, and flexible hours so he could spend more time with Emma. Tears filled Daniel's eyes. "I don't have a college degree." Olivia gently shook her head. "I can teach business. I can't teach character. You already have what matters most." A few weeks later, Daniel began his new career. Instead of delivering packages, he helped deliver hope. He organized charity events, partnered with hospitals, and created programs for single parents facing difficult times. Emma couldn't have been prouder. One evening, Daniel tucked her into bed. "Dad," she asked, "why do good things happen after people are kind?" Daniel smiled. "They don't always happen right away. Sometimes kindness comes back in ways we never expect." Emma hugged him tightly. "I want to be kind like you." Daniel kissed her forehead. "That's the greatest gift anyone could give the world." Years later, thousands of families had received help through the programs Daniel helped build. Many never knew his story. They only knew someone cared enough to help them when life became difficult. And it all started because one ordinary man refused to ignore a stranger in need. He lost one job. But he found a purpose that changed countless lives forever. Kindness doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it costs you comfort. Sometimes it asks you to sacrifice. But true kindness never disappears. It creates ripples that travel farther than we can imagine. If Daniel had driven away that rainy morning, none of those lives would have been touched. One simple act changed everything. So the next time you have the chance to help someone, don't underestimate the power of that moment. Your kindness could become someone else's miracle. Thank you for spending your time with Kindness Matrez. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment telling us about a time when kindness changed your life. Until next time, remember that even the smallest act of compassion can create the biggest difference in the world.